Get your brand connected to 35 million readers in India and 2 million in the USA. Global Eye Magazine, the fastest-growing Indo-US weekly. Our magazine dives deep into exclusive stories, face-to-face interviews, and key happenings across the USA and India, delivering content you won't find anywhere else. Advertise with Global Eye Magazine and reach highly targeted and influential audience. Contact us to book your ad space.
Hello and welcome to Dr. VGP Talk Show. Hello and welcome to Dr. VGP's podcast, the Dr. VGP's talk show that reaches 42 million households, including 2 million across America. In this episode of Dr. VGP's podcast, you're going to meet a resilient woman who has adaptability and bounce back from adversity, challenges, and setbacks. A 35-year-old woman who possesses the inner strength and ability to recover from difficult experiences, not just trauma, not illness, but much more. Being raped as a 10-year-old girl, lived her adolescence in a troubled, broken home with both her father and mother being incarcerated, and yet at 16 years old, owns a condo in Harvey, Illinois. Through all this trials and tribulation emerges the most successful Sierra White, the CEO of Skinsational LLC at Oakland. Sit back and hear her compelling story of triumph and success amidst her turbulent past.
My name is Sierra White. We are at SSL Studios located in Oakland, Illinois. Here we are inside of my suite, which I own. I am an owner-operator myself, Skinsational Luxe, LLC. I am an advanced skincare therapist who uses professional-grade skincare products as well as advanced equipment. I offer services ranging from body contouring to hydrofacials, as well as microneedling, dermaplaning, waxing, facials of all kinds. Here at Skinsational Luxe, we do not just give you sensational skin, we also give you a sensational experience. The goal is for you to leave here and go and tell a friend, family member, coworker, etc. about your experience. Book an appointment today so that you and I can achieve your ultimate skin goals.
Welcome to Dr. VGP's talk show that reaches 42 million households, including 2 million across North America. We are today at SSL Studios in Oak Lawn, Illinois, where you're featuring and going to meet a resilient young 35-year-old woman, Sierra White. Thank you, Sierra, for joining us on our VGP's talk show today. And you're going to, your story, your triumphant story is something everyone must know and learn from.
Thank you for having me.
Great. Sierra White, when Dion Harden, who we featured in our studio, in our podcast earlier, who's from the Break It, You Fix It Foundation CEO, gave our production team a call and said, there's one hell of a woman out here who has been through the trauma and who's today the most successful esthetician, having her own studio and who's making waves in the world of beauty. Despite her scars, which you're going to listen today, to this strong young woman who has been through trauma, who has been through the most disturbing circumstances, I would let her tell it in her own words. Sierra, tell our viewers about your early childhood.
Well, early on, I was in a domestic violence home. That's what I grew up in, with 6 siblings at the time. Well, 5 and then 6 siblings at the time. And it was traumatic, but it made me more angry than anything, because myself, I wanted to be a strong woman, but I was the woman that you look up to. Your mother was very weak and not able to mimic that for me. So that alone kind of made me angry more so than timid. I fought back with anger.
What happened to you when you were a 10-year-old girl?
I was trying to go against the woman that I'm talking about, my mother, and I went to a sleepover that she advised me not to. While being there, I was raped at 10 years old. Just coming into having a menstrual myself, I didn't really know what was going on or understand why the individual targeted me.
As a 10-year-old girl, you were raped?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, horrifying.
Yes. And the house that I was at was, they sold drugs per se, but you wouldn't really know. It was a friend of mine, and he was someone coming there for drugs. He was kind of in the closet about it, smoking, functional person overall, but not someone that I thought would do that to me. He raped me in the restroom. It's traumatic because even as an adult, I don't like the smell of, sex itself, if we're being frank. So that's what traumatized me for it. It happened, and then I cleaned myself up. Of course, just coming and having a menstrual, I thought that I came on my menstrual. I wasn't aware that the bleeding came from the trauma that was going on. And the individual's grandmother didn't know. It was kind of like back in the day where it's quiet kept, you know what I mean? So she threw everything away that I had made a mess of, cleaning myself up. But yeah, I was 10.
How horrifying, being molested as a 10-year-old child and dealing with a broken home, and especially with your mother.
Because you don't really have anybody to go tell, you know what I mean? And then you seem like a problem child, so it's just like you don't really know what was going on. I wasn't taught that. I knew what happened, but I didn't know the response to what the response would have been to what happened, as well as not wanting to look like a victim, you know what I mean?
So what happened after that? Did you leave your mother and eke out alone?
No.
How about your father?
My father had been incarcerated majority of our childhood. What I knew of him was the desire for a relationship with him, and not really taking in what he was doing to my mother, the abuse and everything. It was like he could do no wrong because I desired a relationship with him. And again, like I said, she was abused. She was a hardworking woman, being a mother and everything. She decided to finally leave him while he was incarcerated, and she ended up with another man who was worse than him, another form of abuse, should I say. He was a pedophile. But I knew because of what happened.
Oh my God, today we hear about pedophiles. So your stepfather,
they never married.
Your mother's companion was another pedophile.
Yeah.
Preying on you young ones and your siblings.
Yeah, I believe he targets women who has daughters still to this day. He actually was incarcerated not too long ago for something he did to a 4-year-old.
So
It was hard because, again, me and my mother didn't have the strongest relationship. So me expressing to her my concerns of this person, it just seemed as though I was upset because she wasn't with my father. You know what I mean? Like I didn't want her to be happy. That's just my assumption to the way she took it in. But that's just the way it seemed. He was very, very much so manipulative and inappropriate. And I ended up leaving to go be with my grandmother because I couldn't stay.
So what age when you left your home at?
When I left from with my mom, I probably was about 12 or 13.
Okay.
When I went to go stay with my grandmother. Not too far from there, but...
So your grandmother literally brought you up?
Yeah, pretty much. She brought most of us up. We all stayed there as a family at once, but when I went with her, yes, she brought me up.
And so you were 12, 13, you moved from your home, from your mother's home to your grandmother's home. Mm-hmm. And then tell us what happened from there.
Of course, with my grandmother being an abused woman, I was comfortable when she opened up to me about her abuse to tell her what had happened to me. That was my first time actually even speaking it out of my mouth, to her. And she opened up and told me things that I didn't know as far as our family with abuse. Everything was pretty good, but of course, being a mother, you don't want to seem to your child as though you're going against them. You know what I mean? So it was kind of conflict with the two, but she always tried to do what was right for all of us, not just me, but I was more relatable to her.
And when did you go to Houston, and what age were you, and what did you do there? And tell us that's part of the story.
So I left home at 16. My mother had told me, you're not grown until you X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? But everything she listed, I literally were doing, so I figured I'm grown. If you say that, then I must be grown.
So what was it, XYZ?
It was just like buying your own products, your clothes, your shoes, you know what I mean? So you're able to live by yourself and afford bills and everything. At that time, I could do it because I was doing what I had to do to get by.
So what were you doing, what you had to get by?
Where I'm from, either as a female, you are going to sell your body, or you're going to, physically or strip, or you're going to be in the streets. And
you did all.
I kind of went, no, none of that. I didn't sell myself, but the people that I were around were guys. I kind of gravitated to guys more than girls because of my brothers and my cousin and everything. So I just watched, what was around me in the streets. What men did to get money is what I did.
So what, dealing in drugs maybe?
Yeah.
Come on, tell us the story.
I did. I sold drugs. I helped some people out. I started out that way. And then, of course, me being an overachiever, I began doing it myself. Yeah.
Okay. And that helped you pull through life?
Yeah. Not
sustained you?
Yeah, it made me be able to take care of bills and stuff. I got my first apartment in Harvey, where I'm from, on Page. It was kind of a drug area, but I went there. There was some ran downtown homes, but it was mine, and I made it mine.
At what age was
16.
that? At 16, Sierra White had her own apartment in Harvey. It was her own, as she said.
Yes.
And how she got there was a story of a lifetime.
Yeah. It was kind of under the table, the way things go. Like, a landlord, it was like pay. So that's what I did. And I ended up getting kicked out of high school. Well, not even necessarily kicked out of high school. I've always had straight A's. I've always been a scholar student.
Wow.
So when I had the fight that I did have, my mother had just came home from prison and was on the news and had just came home from her arrest, and it was a big thing for her being on the news. So she could have fought for me for the fight that I did have. The people that I fought had people in the school system and all of that. You know what I mean? Like
Correct.
On the board. So she didn't decide to fight for it, which was another thing that I looked, that I was upset at her about. But I understand now because she had went through just being on the
incarcerated.
She was on the news for, everything. So her fighting for me would have required her to do so. So they wanted me to sign a sheet with unnecessary stuff. So I was just like, no, I'm not doing that. So I left, and then I ended up, I moved to Houston with my aunt and my cousin.
And how was life in Houston?
It was lovely. It really was lovely. Me going there, I ended up...
How did you adapt? From selling drugs, from getting kicked out of school, mother out of the incarceration. So much for a young little girl.
It was like a new start, so it was exciting. And when I went, I was with my aunt, and the goal wasn't to go live with her. I wanted to do things myself. I met my daughter. Well, I didn't meet him. Me and my eldest daughter's father reconnected, and he co-signed on my lease. So I stayed with my aunt a couple months, and then I moved and got my own apartment. It was just a gesture at first to help, but naturally we ended up dealing with each other, and I found out I was pregnant. I ended up coming back home because it was a big thing. My mom was in jail. I had a little brother who was a baby at the time. My grandmother, my younger siblings, my sister and them had him. And I got homesick pretty much, but ultimately I was pregnant. So I came home, I was supposed to visit, and I ended up staying. So I ended up with a broken lease. I just called and said, hey, I'm not coming back. I'm staying home, and I've been back since then.
Wow, what a story. So as an 18-year-old girl, you were pregnant with your first child, and you moved back from Houston because you were pregnant, and you came back to your home ground in Harvey, Illinois. You had a younger brother and younger sister. What happened to you?
No, I just had a younger sister. Well, yeah, I did have a younger brother. I'm sorry. What were you saying? What
younger brother and younger sister.
Sisters. He had three younger sisters at the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what happened to one of the younger sisters?
She ended up passing in a car accident in 2014.
You and her were very close?
Very close. Anybody who knows me from the neighborhood knows me as a little girl walking with a baby on her hip. Like, I always had her and my other two sisters, but it was just like, she was my baby girl. She was my daughter.
She was your first child?
Yeah, she was like my daughter.
And how old was he when she died in the accident?
Oh, that was 2014, so... What is this, 2025? Oh, how old was she? She was 17. I thought you said how old was I?
She was 17.
Yeah, she was 17 when she passed.
What was the car accident? Was it?
She was like me where she kind of gravitated to guys, you know what I mean, more than girls, or she tried to see the good in people that didn't really get much attention. The guy who she was in the car with was supposed to be her friend. We found out later that he did like her, but she ended up leaving to go to the show. They didn't hit another car or anything like that. They said that the car hydroplaned because he was speeding through water and it flipped over 3 times.
Did he also pass away?
No, he didn't. No. It was traumatic because we had people that were witnesses and they were telling people the stories like, oh, the car was through her car, and the car was through her body. Her last words was, tell my mother I love her, blood coming from her mouth and ears. It was like, these are the stories that's going around, you know what I mean? And when she ended up passing, that's how it was. I did her hair and everything for the funeral. I did. That was tough for me, but I was the only one who did her hair, so yeah, she died in 2014.
And you were expecting your first kid at that time?
In 2014, no. I had my daughter in 2008.
Oh, so she was already, you had a daughter and a son?
She was very, very, not my son yet. Well, yeah, no, I did have my son. He was young. She was a very good auntie. That's the only person that I really let keep my kids and stuff. She would be at my house and everything. At that time, I was with my son's father, who I was with for 10 years. And she used to come to our house and everything then. Yeah, they were close. So it was traumatic for my daughter and my little brother, who's only 2 years older than my daughter. It was traumatic for them to experience death so young, you know. But yeah, it was tough. I lost myself when that happened. The fear was always, that's going to be the last time I see a person when they leave. That's that. So it was hard.
From there, how did you get here?
After the loss of her, like I said, I was with my son's father for 10 years. That kind of put a big wedge between our relationship because of how he handled me. He hadn't lost somebody before. Not that that's an excuse, but you expect them to be there for you, you know. So it was a lot of nights of me waiting until they go to sleep and then screaming in the pillow and crying and everything. So that put a wedge between us. I left him, and then I ultimately got with an abuser. So the one thing that I despise about my mother, I ended up being that same woman. You know what I mean?
Your mother?
Like my mother, yes.
Being in an abused relationship?
Yes. Severely. It was
with 2 small children.
With 2 small children, yeah.
A daughter and a son.
Yes. And it was a battle because I experienced it. I seen life from the view that I didn't understand of hers, where you love a person and you think you could change them. You know what I mean? Because they're damaged themselves. So I dealt with that, and it got too traumatic. You know what I mean? Like when he choked me in front of my kids till I passed out, it was like, okay, I got to get out of this. So I sent them with their father for the weekend, and that's when it all went down when I left, pretty much. I left. Because he had broke my arm, you know what I mean? And me being who I am and how I carry myself, nobody would believe that I was getting abused, because I used to fight guys when I was younger, you know what I mean? So I ended up leaving, though, and I left with 2 weeks' worth of clothes for me and my children. That's what it was.
And with a broken arm, with your kids, what happened next?
After that, I didn't want my kids to know what was going on, so I told them that we were just like on a long-term vacation. So we were staying from hotel to hotel. Naturally, we're in the area sometimes and people would see it. It just got real traumatizing. Like when I got down to having a couple $1,000s left in my name, I ended up telling my son's father that I needed him to get them. I was in school for aesthetics. It was not what I wanted to do. It was just a business that I wanted to own at the time. But I ended up liking it and excelling at it and being great. So I sent them with him, and then for 3 months I lived in my car.
So for 3 months you slept and lived in your car while your kids were with their father, and you went through a beauty school or an aesthetician course because you liked it and you excelled at it, just like you got A's in school. So what made you take that self-determination, that big step that you had to educate yourself, that you had to fend for yourself and nobody's going to do? What pushed you? Your abusive partner breaking your arm?
No, I'm going to say...
What drove you to do that moment?
Honestly, the 3 months in my car was like a reawakening for me. I had to bring myself... Naturally, I could have went and stayed with plenty of people, you know what I mean? But it wouldn't have been...
You have the same lifestyle?
Yeah, so I had to bring myself to the bottom to start all over again. So that was like the reset for me. And during that time in the car, I got close to the God, you know what I mean? I found myself again. And I was driven, like, this is it. I just told myself this is the last shot. You know what I mean? We got to do what we have to do because I'm a mother of a boy and a girl at that time.
And how old were your kids at that time while you were going to school and sleeping in your car?
2018. I'm going to say my son might have been 6 and my daughter might have been 10. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to say like 6 and 10 at the time.
Okay.
So yeah, that was the whole thing. Like that whole time, during that time.
And tell me that experience in school.
In school?
Yeah.
Oh, that was great. It was tough because I was hiding it. I was living in my car, of course.
Yes.
But I was taking care of my grandmother, so I go there, get ready, go to school. I met Miss Kim, who is a very amazing woman. I chose that school for her. And being in there wasn't the best school, you know what I mean, to choose from, but they had the best educator, you know. So I went there, and everything seemed exciting to me. So then it went from just beauty to learn that they have medical aesthetics. So it was like both my passions in one, because I left the medical field before I went to esthetician school, which is still medical, but not as deep. But when I found that out, it was exciting. And then honestly, when you get to the floor where you work the spa, that's when I seen and learned that it was money to it. You know what I mean? So they were doing waxes and for $50-something an hour. And it's like, this is what I'm going to work for. And it's 15, 20 minutes in a day, several. So I knew that I could turn that into, it was the hustle in it where I seen the money was good and it's something I enjoyed doing, which was the dream. You know what I mean?
Fantastic. What a story. What a story. How old are your kids today, Sierra?
16, 12, and I have a 2-year-old now.
Great.
Yeah.
16, and you have a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
All from the same father? No, different fathers?
Different. Yeah, different. Different points in my life, each one.
So tell us, after you graduated from school, tell us the great part of your success, which we are here in your studio in the sensational Luxe LLC. So tell us how, now bring us back. You've graduated out of school, and what did you do next?
I graduated. I obtained a home for me and my children, a 2-bedroom condo at the time, and I was taking my clients in the living room of the 2-bedroom condo. So I just put the bed there, and thank God some of them are still with me. Thank you. But they came and they, you know, I serviced them, but I wanted to make an experience every time I serviced somebody. So it started there, and then I moved. COVID happened, and I found a home where I made a whole spa at the bottom. You know what I mean? And so many people would reach out and say they like it, that I have more space. Because I only had one room there that I was renting out. And I had a sauna. I just created like a real spa. So then I got pregnant with my 2-year-old daughter, and it was like I have hard pregnancies, you know, medically. So I had to sit down with her. So that year, it was like back to the drawing board. What are we doing? So I went back to the original plan, ultimately. Not a spa, but a location with things that I've seen people struggling from. You know what I mean? Not knowing, having a location that actually work that's affordable, where we all can coincide. That was a big thing that people thought you couldn't have hair, nails, and aesthetics, you know what I mean, in all one space. But that was my goal, to make that happen. So I saw all of this in my head, and I just brought it to life. I got connected.
So which year did you open the SSL Studios in Oakland, which is under one roof? You, as Sierra said, you get your hair fixed, you get your nails done, you get your, what shall I say, aesthetics for your face, and look at like you shining and beautiful. They're a tattoo artist. And when was this opened?
In 2024, it was my grand opening.
Just a year ago.
Yep, just a year ago. Year and a half.
Great. So you've seen your whole vision, dream into reality.
Yes, I did.
And how do you feel today, looking back at
good.
everything what you've done? You feel as a stronger, successful. I can see that radiating, vibrant woman, ready to roll.
Every time when I walk in here, it feels good because I did the work, the actual work, the body of this. You know what I mean? I had never done carpentry or anything like that, but I painted, I laid floors. Like, I'm inside of here, you know, every bit of it. So when I walk in, I enjoy it. I love entrepreneurs. I love telling people, you know, you can do whatever you want to do. So just coming in here and seeing the activity is exciting.
You just heard a wonderful story coming back to Sierra White, the CEO of Skinsational, and she has this repellent, vibrant SSL studio in Oakland with 10 different suites with everything you want to take from beauty care, from hair to your nails. Plus everything else. And I think what we just learned from Sierra White is that resilience is not about avoiding hardship, but rather about navigating through it and emerging stronger like you have done.
Yeah.
You know, adaptability, as I can see, support systems, self-care, physical and mental well-being, all plays a big role. Would you agree with that, Sierra?
Absolutely.
And I think what I hear in your story and having this compelling conversation with you, I think your focus on solutions and maintaining a sense of hope through all the trials and tribulations that you went through, being raped at 10 years, going through a domestic turbulent home, being through different relationships, and still you were able to see the ray of hope at the light at the end of the tunnel. And I think your strength, as you've explained to us and our viewers, is you've viewed the setbacks as opportunities for growth and learning. Yeah. And would you agree with that?
Yes, absolutely.
What would you like to add to that to our viewers to learn from what you went?
Honestly, I have a saying when I speak to people that you are in control of everything. You're in control of yourself. And it's not to be, if you went through anything close to mine, or, you know, are you going to be a victim or a survivor? That's what I ask people. That's like my big punchline. Are you going to be a victim or a survivor? Because what you're presenting to me is a victim. Let's make you a survivor. That's my main.
Now you become not only you were a victim, you were a survivor. Now you're a victor.
Yes.
Victorious, successful.
Yes.
Now, you know, what I learned from Sierra White in the last 22 minutes is that she has turned her wounds into wisdom. Now, Sierra, where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
I see myself having several locations across the world. I would like to have several SSL Studios, and more so just an educator. I love educating. I do like hands-on practice, but I want to educate more.
Great.
Sure.
You are a perfect role model for
you.
all the women who are in crisis and all the young girls. There's hope. Yeah. And I think talking to Sierra, the theme of her sensational is the smallest details that makes the greatest experience. Mm-hmm. And that's what you were earlier saying in your promo. Experience the magic of Skinsational. Could you tell our viewers what that magic is all about?
It's so Skinsational really comes from sensational. So it's just a great feeling. So as far as skin, that is the largest organ on our body, and that's what we wear. So if you're gonna fix something or be sensational about something, make that Skinsational, and that's how the name even came about. It's just all about being confident and comfortable with the person that you are.
Great, fantastic. On that note, if you are given an opportunity to take 3 people out for dinner, could be your mentors, could be your heroes, from the past to the present, who would those 3 people be? Okay. And you can go ahead and say why.
Donald Trump, because...
Wow, our President Donald Trump.
Yes.
This 35-year-old young Sierra White, living African-American in Oakland, Illinois, says the first person she would like to take out for dinner, President Donald Trump. May I ask you why?
We just have a lot to talk about. I feel he's a resilient man as well as I am as a resilient woman. So I could learn a lot from him, but I know he could learn a lot from me too. So if he watching it.
Fantastic. And who's the second one?
My grandmother.
Her name?
Diana Riley.
And when did she pass? And
that was 2022, I want to say. Yeah, 2022.
Okay, and the third one?
Jacqueline White, my sister.
Okay, Jackie's the sister you lost.
Yeah.
You just heard Sierra White say the three heroes of her is one is President Donald Trump, who's making America great again. And she says why she chose him, because he's a resilient man, a phenomenal man like herself, turning trauma and tragedy into triumph and success. Second is her grandmother, Delia Relay, who brought her up. She owes her whole life to Delia. Grandma Delia, wherever you are, God bless your soul for bringing such a vibrant soul in our midst, Sierra White. And third is her youngest sister, who was her first child, who she lost in a tragic car accident at 17, Jackie.
Yeah.
Any special message to Jackie?
Well, I'm going to do what she wanted me to do and start my skincare line.
Good.
Yeah.
Great.
That's what I'm in the process.
You just heard an emotionally moved, strong, phenomenal, resilient woman, Sierra White. Tell Jackie, who's up there in heaven looking down, Jackie, dear, I'm making your dream come true. I'm on the verge of getting my skincare line, which we used to talk about as little girlies in Harvey, Illinois. On a more positive note, how will you describe yourself in 3 words? 3 adjectives maybe.
Resilient.
Good. Let's tell loud and clear to our audience. They need to hear the strong woman. Resilient. Yes. The second word.
Resilient. I'm trying to put it the right way.
Good. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I think I have to say caring, because that
Caring. Absolutely. Caring. Yes.
Caring. So resilient, caring, and successful.
Good. Beautiful.
Yeah, successful.
Sierra White describes herself as resilient, caring, and successful. What more can you ask of a woman? Resilient said it so well. Now, tell us what would you like your message to be to our audience? I know you talked about strong, fearless, beautiful. You've also said resilience is knowing, like you said earlier to all our viewers in the conversation, in this exclusive interview, that resilience is knowing that you are the only one that has the power and the responsibility to pick yourself up. I mean, that's so well said. Yeah. Apart from that, what would you like to tell our viewers today as parting message from the one and only Sierra White? Who looks literally white too, and you kept your skin very well. Sensational like you are. And you have lofty ideals. She wants to open a sensational LLC salons globally, all across America. She wants to be the next, the next brand in the aesthetic industry. Yeah. And I'm sure you're going to make it.
Oh, thank you.
You got a whole year, another 50 plus years of success and success. So talk to our viewers, tell them your parting message to them.
I would just say time is of the essence, and grasp whatever you want to do, your dreams, your goals. You are the one who can make it happen. So if you don't believe in yourself, you can't expect others to. So time is of the essence, whether it's right now while you're watching this, get on top of whatever you want to do, whatever your dreams are.
So well. Earlier Sierra was saying, when I was asking her what is the essence of life, you did a very nice anecdote. You told me women are like tea bags.
Oh, yeah.
We don't know our true strength until we are in hot water.
Yes.
I mean, that's a wonderful quote that you said. And she was telling us that you should be strong, be fearless, and be beautiful, and believe that anything is possible. When you have the right people to support you. I mean, it's been a most enlightening conversation and very inspiring and intriguing. Thank you for sharing the most private details of your life. And I hope this interview is going to inspire the millions of our viewers who are going to watch it and learn from your strength and draw support that life, the best is yet to come.
Yes, I hope so too.
Yeah. Sierra, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And looking forward to seeing you more, seeing your brand, and the world is yours. Go and conquer it. Your last word of advice to our viewers.
Yeah. To be strong, be powerful, and be confident.
Dear viewers, elevate your business to new heights and reach 35 million potential customers with Global Eye Digital. Contact us today at globaleyedigital@gmail.com or info@globaleyedigital.com. Let's take your business global.